definitely worldwide. Who is Q? What is Q? And perhaps most importantly, why is Q? Q and the ever-growing worldwide movement it's inspired have been the objects of fascination, mockery, and hatred, but of the surprisingly little serious analysis. Q first appeared in October of 2017 on an anonymous online forum called the 4chan, posting messages that implied top clearance knowledge of upcoming events. More than 3,000 messages later, Q has created a disturbing, multifaceted portrait of a global criminal syndicate that operates with impunity. Q's followers in the QAnon community faithfully analyze every detail of Q drops
and his secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in it.
The mainstream media has published hundreds of articles attacking Q as an insane right-wing conspiracy, particularly after President Trump seemed to publicly confirm his connection to it. At a North Carolina rally in 2019, Trump made a point of drawing attention to a baby wearing a onesie with a big Q on it. In recent weeks, the tempo of Trump's spotlighting of Q has accelerated, with the president retweeting Q followers 20 times in one day. Trump has featured Q fans in his ads and deployed one of Q's signature phrases, "These people are sick," at his rallies. The president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has also retweeted Q followers. It has been noted by Q that the media never asked Trump the obvious question: what do you think of Q? To the followers, the reason they don't ask is obvious. They are afraid of the answer. Q's followers believe that Q is a military intelligence operation, the first of its kind, whose main goal is to provide the public with accurate information, a back channel to the public. Because of what happened in Vegas back in October of 2017, the president and the military around him have every right to do what is being done. Here's the way it works. Q posts messages, also known as drops or crumbs, on an anonymous online forum, which are discussed, analyzed, and critiqued by the board's inhabitants. The forum has changed a few times after massive online attacks. Hundreds of social media accounts shut down, then spread Q's latest posting to worldwide followers who share their research, analysis, interpretations of Q's latest information. Now, some of these interpretations have been just outright wrong, exaggerated for own personal agendas, it seems. Now, I've compiled a list of Q's most famous catchphrases and tried to put them into context for you. This is really for the newcomers, the newbies, the FNGs to the Great Awakening. So that leads us into the first one, the Great Awakening. We're living in a unique time in which ordinary citizens from around the world are collaborating to understand and expose the corrupt system that rules us. The system thrives on deception, and the overwhelming task of the Great Awakening is to penetrate its lies and reveal the truth. The first phase of the Great Awakening is heightened awareness of the deep state, the interlocking governmental entities that operate outside of law to expand their own power. Elections and popular opinion don't impact the ability of the deep state to enforce its own agenda. The second phase of the Great Awakening investigates the deep state's alliance with other powerful sectors, their arms, the many facets that they own. The media, Hollywood, charities, the nonprofits, public schools and universities, the religious organizations, the medical, scientific field, the financial institutions, and the multinational corporations. Now, this phase can be very painful for people, and your cognitive dissonance can set in as you discover that those you trust the most, in Q's phrase, are deceiving you. Your beloved celebrities, religious leaders, doctors, educators, inventors, and the do-gooders in general are all in on the hoax.
Hot summer streets and the pavements are burning. I sit around trying to smile, but the air is so heavy and dry. It's a cruel, cruel summer, leaving me here on my own. It's a cruel, cruel summer. Now you're gone. The city is crowded, my friends are away, and I'm on my own. It's too hard to handle, so I got to get up and go. It's a cruel, cruel summer.
Dark to light. Q tells us what our rulers fear the most is exposure. Bringing their crimes out of the protected darkness into the light of the public scrutiny destroys their power to deceive. And as their power fades, and it will, the darkness of our divided, violent world will yield to the light of freedom, cooperation, and true peace. Where we go one, we go all. WWG1WGA. Q's most famous phrase expresses a worldwide nature of the movement. Every country is suffering from the system's oppression, and the whole world wide will benefit from a rebirth of freedom. In this unique movement, anonymous citizens work in collaboration with the highest ranking military leaders and the president, and everyone's contributions are valued. When commentators on the board have thanked Q for his service, Q has replied that no one is above and no one is below. We work for you.
Although we did not find clear evidence that Secretary Clinton or her colleagues intended to violate laws, there is evidence that they were extremely careless in their handling of very sensitive, highly classified information.
Everything I did was permitted by law and regulation. I had one device.
Secretary Clinton used several different servers.
These people are sick. Perhaps the most difficult aspect of the Great Awakening is coming to terms with the depravity of our rulers, whom Q has called the cult. Jeffrey Epstein's story has helped to awaken people to some of the elite's crimes. The mysterious temple on Epstein Island hints at possible future revelations that are frightening in their scope. Q followers believe that the cult engages in ritual practices that enshrine the shedding of blood and which prey on the innocence of children. The sickness in their souls thrive on their brutality, war, and terror. These disclosures will be tough to swallow for the public to take in. In the end, to truly know, that choice will be yours.
Satanists have their own services that mock Christian services. They have them almost every weekend. They have them in underground churches across America. And they do everything opposite and against what a real church would do. Why would you want to join a group of people that think eating feces and drinking urine is fun? It's not optional. You have to do it. They all do it. And they don't complain. They get beyond that stage. They don't complain. They do it. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, what do? You go to an underground Hollywood club, a super secret Satanist club. Do they serve feces on toothpicks? These people are nasty. And you tell us the sheer demonism, demonic beings that control them.
And you don't have to believe in Satan. You don't even have to believe in God. Just remember that these people do. And some of them hold Satan very close. They want you divided. The hatred that's growing between races, classes, age groups, religions, and political parties is purposely fomented by the occult. The more we're divided and focused on attacking each other, the weaker we become. Q urges us to stay together and to fight the cult, not one another. Bigger than you can imagine. Expand your thinking. Q encourages us to reevaluate everything we think we know. The cult may date back to ancient times, and through its powerful families and bloodlines, it might have manipulated historical events in ways that we haven't even suspected. The cult may also possess advanced technology and medical cures that have not been released to the public. One aspect that may be bigger than you can imagine is the unfathomable scale of theft from our national coffers, as funds for foreign aid and wars wind up right back into the cult's pockets.
Psychological warfare has been waged against America for much of this century. This war for the mind of the public has been facilitated by the emergence of mass media and the transformation of American education by behavioral psychologists. In the book 1984, George Orwell warned that people were in danger of losing their human qualities and freedom of mind without being aware of it while it was happening.
Their need for symbols will be their downfall. Now, the cult uses certain symbols over and over again, which may serve some ritualistic need to serve to their masters. But what makes them vulnerable to detection, and this is what's going to be their downfall. Q followers are familiar with the Y-shaped horns and mimic those with the occult deity Baphomet, the owls, the pyramids, the one eye encased within a pyramid from all the actors and the arm of the Illuminati, the red shoes, the bandaged fingers, and other repeating symbols, including their mysterious black eye that affects so many famous people. The Q Army also knows that the coded pedophile symbols listed by the FBI when Q drew attention to the design of Epstein's temple. Alert Q followers noticed how similar it is to the set design of the famous talk show. And the red ring on the hand of the dead terrorist Qasem Soleimani prompted Q followers to compile images of similar rings on the hands of powerful people. An excellent source for understanding how these symbols are incorporated into pop culture, targeting the young through their music videos, TV shows, and movies, can be found at vigilantcitizen.com. I encourage you to go there and check that out. Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. Now comes the pain. The headlines on any given day may sound discouraging for those who want justice to prevail, but these setbacks are just temporarily, as a juggernaut of justice heads our way. As Q likes to say, we have it all. Massive amounts of irrefutable evidence await the criminals who try to evade their reckoning in court. For those who worry about Trump's ability to overcome impeachment, election fraud, and all the assassination attempts yet to be heard about, Q assures us patriots are in control, and no legal tricks can help the criminals escape the ultimate judgment of the public disgust that is now out in the public sector. We all know what happens in the end. God wins. Many times, Q has asked us to pray. He's quoted the famous biblical lines of Ephesians 6:12, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." We're living through monumental times. Thanks to all the Patriots for being here. Again, I'm Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. And where we go one, we go all.